Another thing Apple's doing to kind of close itself off from the rest of the technological world is developing its own silicon, so it doesn't have to buy from Intel anymore. And there were a couple of questions on this investor call, analyst call, where there were some questions asked around whether or not Apple silicon would ever be available to other companies. Because this is some really competitive stuff. And if you look at the other chip makers that exist, they've made their products accessible to brands that want it. Now, granted, those other chip makers, Intel, AMD, Qualcomm, they sort of rely on other hardware manufacturers as a place for their chips to go. Mm-hmm. Apple's much different, where they control so many things in-house. But it is a question worth asking. Hey, Apple, would you ever sell these chips to someone else? You're making these great chips. You love these chips. What are you going to do with it? So Tim Cook, he answers the question on the call. I don't want to make a forever comment, but we're a product company and we love making the whole thing. If we can own the user experience in that way, our goal is delighting the user. And that's the reason that we're doing Apple Silicon, because we can envision some products that we couldn't achieve otherwise. And so that's how we look at it. It sort of unleashes another round of innovation, he continued. And so I don't want to say a lot about it other than we're extremely excited about it. And certainly it does. They're going to have uniformity across all their various computing devices, from the smartphone to the iPad to the laptop. We don't know how, the whole thing has potential to become very cohesive from a software and hardware perspective. Right now, there's a bit of a disconnect. The Intel stuff on the macOS side and the iOS stuff on the mobile side. And if they can tie that together, the future of computing devices from Apple and the integration, you can imagine some exciting things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not surprised by his response, obviously. What does Apple sell to other manufacturers? Anything? They're so in-house. The garden is so walled that it would be hard to imagine any other type of response. They made partnerships with the news stuff with other websites, which was kind of a little unusual.
Right.
I'm trying to think of one other area. No, it's nowhere. Apple doesn't want to play. Apple wants its own backyard with big fences, and Silicon's going to be the exact same scenario.